Hi, everybody. This is David Nevins for Citybiz List, and welcome to our program today. Today's guest is Marshall Klein, and Marshall is the CEO of Klein's Family Markets that operate in Central Maryland, primarily Harford County, Baltimore County, and Baltimore City. Marshall, welcome to our program today.
Hi, David.
Glad you could join us. Marshall, I know that I love talking to entrepreneurs. It's always fascinating to me to talk business and how a business has evolved. In your case, your business has been around for, correct me if I'm wrong, for almost 100 years. So talk to me a little bit about—
1 year away.
1 year away. There you go. So that's almost 99 then. Talk to me a little bit about the how Klein's has evolved and grown, and your family's role in it. I'm going to throw the ball into your court and give your a little bit of your elevator speech about what has brought you to this this terrific company today, so large, so impactful in Central Maryland. How'd you get here?
Okay, so I'll be on a bit of a ride because it takes a minute. It's like 99 years in like 30 seconds. So originally, this company was founded by my great grandparents. It was just a farm, like rural farm store selling farm type equipment and food and seed and guns and magazines and whatever people needed in Fallston. And we had that business for quite some time. And they had a son, my grandfather, Ralph, and they had a business there in Fallston for, like I said, quite some time. My grandfather was drafted. He went to the war. They closed the business. They moved to Baltimore. He then, when he got out of the Army in the 50s, they purchased a store in Forest Hill. And with the store, they got a house up the road that they lived in. And then he built a house right next door to them. And he lived in that with my grandmother. And together they ran this business. And thankfully, he met my grandmother. She was from Baltimore. There were some Jews that moved out to Harford County. She didn't know where she was going, but she went there, and there weren't a lot of roads. She couldn't get back, and she stayed there. They had 3 sons, and they all grew up in the business. And we were maybe generation 2 of traditional rural farm stores, still a neighborhood market, sold everything to everyone, and that was what we did for quite some time. And then in 1979, my father and his brothers really wanted to expand the business. And they convinced their father to open what I would consider our first traditional grocery store in Forest Hill, probably not even half a mile from what we call the old store, from the original rural, like a very rural store. And that was sort of our first foray into a traditional supermarket business. And from there, a lot of different things happened over the past 40 years. So there was a bankruptcy auction, and we bought something from another guy that went out of business in Bel Air. And then we had 2 stores. And then my family, we found a gravel pit in Aberdeen, and we thought we could make a shopping center and a grocery store. And then we had 3 stores. And development continued as Harford County continued to grow until, we have 5 stores. And we did that for quite some time. And we continued the expansion from there. And, certainly myself and my sisters, I have cousins in the business. We all grew up in this business. I grew up working in the grocery business from a very, very young age, 5 or 6. And, not paid, but there. And we did that. So then we were going along with the trials and tribulations of being an independent operator, and things were becoming increasingly difficult to compete with regional and national chains. Certainly, as people came into what we considered our trade area, which was just the area north of Baltimore, it became increasingly difficult to compete. And in 2009, we decided to join the Wakefern Food Cooperative, which is a group of, at that time, it was 47 member companies. We were the 48th, to band together to buy centrally, to buy technology centrally. And that is sort of like the next iteration of our business. And that allowed us to leverage technology significantly more than we did, to have the ability to really expand our business beyond where we were at that time. And then, 13 years later, we have 9 stores in 3 different major municipalities, between Baltimore City, the county, and Harford County. And we do a variety of things. We employ over 1,400 people. And we are I'm an amateur historian in grocery in Maryland. I believe we are the largest independent family grocery operation in the state of Maryland.
So again, fascinating. This is why I really enjoy talking to entrepreneurs. So you became Klein's ShopRights, and I think you said you had 9 stores. And how many employees?
1,400.
So 9 stores.
I wish I had 1,600. I can't find enough people. I wish I had more people. We're pecking to
your
find
grandfather.
hard to find.
Well, your great grandfather, no doubt would be very proud. Talk a little bit about. I know that because I have a lot of friends and colleagues who live in Harford County and northern Baltimore County, and they love you guys. They love your stores. Talk a little bit about how you differentiate your business, your stores from a regional or national chain.
So the way we do that is, our goal is to be the preeminent local grocer in the state of Maryland. That is our company. That's what we want to do. And I believe our strategic advantage is that we are nimble enough and flexible enough to be able to do that. And for us, what that means is to be able to meet our communities where they are and to be able to serve them in ways that are unique to them. So I have stores that are very rural in Harford and Baltimore County. And what that customer wants in that area is very different than what our customers are looking for in Baltimore City. And when you have a regional company or a national company, they have sort of a one-size-fits-all program, and maybe they can do a little bit of customization, maybe by division, by region. And we have the ability to really tailor our customer experience to the customers that we serve. And a lot of the time that means whether we're providing local produce from the farms around our stores or providing local products from businesses that are trying to grow within our trade area, that is really what we do. We're able to be a little bit different than a lot of our competition. I would say all of our competition. I think that is kind of like the secret sauce, critical piece. And because we're part of a $18 billion cooperative, we're able to have the technology that our customers expect in terms of, digital commerce or a loyalty card program or value from national brands that we were not able to get when it was just our own independent business, buying from a variety of wholesalers. But being part of this cooperative, we're able to really leverage the best parts of a large organization with the flexibility of a local family business.
Yeah, and Marshall, it's that's interesting. I think you're right. I know in previous conversations we've been talking about, and not to knock your competitors or anything like that, but
knock them away. I don't like.
Yeah, but national and regional chains, they do their thing and they're run from someplace else, and their employees are probably trained to say, this is what we do and this is not what we do. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when someone walks into to your butcher or wedding cake department or whatever it might be, they're there to help the customer, right? Is that the difference, basically?
We certainly have a lot more flexibility. It's not to say we don't have standards. We certainly have standards. You can't run a business of this size and hopefully a larger size without standards and a certain level of, corporate standards, probably the best way to say it. But the level, the customer comes first. So what the customer wants us to do, they are the boss. They come in and we're there to serve them. I think the other crucial difference is the family. When you walk into any one of my stores, it's very similar to walking into my house in a weird, I don't know if I'm explaining, in a weird way. That is how we view this business. It is very personal to us. And we have a high level of pride in how we go to market. And you have ownership that is highly engaged that will address issues in our business all the time in a way that you're just not going to have with a larger company. So, we're in our stores every single week. I'm in stores multiple times a week. So when things aren't right or when things are, I'll say not right or messed up, we can address them very quickly. We can see, the customer experience and things that are happening with them, to them, for them very, very quickly. And I think it's that level of detail focus that you're not going to get in a bigger, a bigger company. I mean, I would like to think that, for stores that still have meat cutters, like if a customer wants something a little bit thicker, I'm not saying we're the only people that'll do that. Certainly we will. I would hope that all my competitors, they should be doing that too. I don't know if they are. I know we certainly are.
Right. Marshall, let me ask you this question. We are living in these incredibly record-setting high inflationary times, and most people talk about it primarily in terms of how it's affecting their weekly grocery bill. I know this has affected your business. I know you're dedicated to attempting to help your customer base. Talk about how your stores are in particular helping with the cost of groceries today.
I mean, it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge for this entire industry, not just for me. And there's been, we had a period for like 10 years. The last 10 years of my professional life, we had almost zero food inflation. And to go from that, where, we were continually trying to drive down our costs in our business so that we could pass that savings through better pricing so we could be more competitive, to this period where we're still trying to address our cost issue, but the cost of product, things that we have no control over. I'll give you eggs, right? Like eggs cost what they cost. There's very little I can do to be more efficient with eggs. It's going up 200% and 300%. And in many cases, we just make less margin because we are sensitive to the fact that, like there is a upward limit of what people can afford to pay. And there is an upward limit of, what can happen for customers. And we are very sensitive to that. And we are constantly working to try to address to the best we can, food inflation. And a lot of that has to do with being more efficient in our business. And another big piece of that is, making less money. So there's a perception that in grocery retail, just because the costs go up, like we're making a lot more money. We're not oil companies. So like the oil costs the same coming out of the ground, whether you sell for $100 a barrel or $50 a barrel, whatever you pulled it out for, it is what it is. Right. Like for us, a huge piece, obviously, of our cost structure is the cost of the product. And based on the supply chain challenges we've had, based on commodity inflation that has existed, that cost has gone up tremendously. And in many cases, that's a cost that, we eat a large portion of that increase and not pass it all the way through, because we understand that, we have to be there for our customers, and we don't believe we'll be able to stay in business if we are uncompetitive on price. So while it may not appear, it's a tough place because it appears, I can understand from a customer standpoint that people in our industry are either insensitive or fostering this problem. But from this side of the table, we are doing a tremendous amount to try to limit the cost increases that customers face in terms of food.
And one last point, I believe it's accurate to say that you also, as Klein's ShopRite stores, have certain unique, let's say, brand names and product lines that are unique to your stores that where they are actually attempting to be discount lines in certain areas.
I wouldn't use the word discount. I wouldn't use that word. I would use the word. So they are private label, and private label is just 30 years ago we called this store brand, and this was whatever ShopRite brand peas, and there was the idea at that time that that just had to be a value, meaning cheap, line of product. And there really has been a transformation, certainly in our company, but in other companies as well, that private label is a brand. And it's not just about being the cheapest possible price on peas. It's about having unique products that customers want, really great quality products that you can strip out all the, let's call it, superfluous cost. So it's not that the product is any worse. In many cases, the spec is better, but all the extra marketing and advertising and costs associated with a national brand, many of them that we like, because we sell a lot of them in our business. You just rip all that out, and we're able to supply an own brand product significantly less expensive. And we're seeing, certainly in our business, the growth of own brand in categories that we never were in before, that are able to offer our customers the same value, or I believe a better value, in many cases, more unique products at significantly better retail.
Good for you. Let me switch gears for the last couple of questions here. As noted when we started this conversation, you're almost 100 years old. Your stores and your family, I guess I should put it the other way around, because it starts with your family and the stores are second to that. You have a history of volunteerism and of participation in the communities you serve that I think is pretty special, and that I think runs through your business philosophy of serving Harford County, Baltimore County, and Baltimore City. Talk about that for a moment, if you would.
I mean, it doesn't, like, I understand how you could say that. It doesn't feel very special to us. It feels very normal, and it we're in the people business. We just happen to sell food, and our customers live in and around all of our stores, and they support us. And we have viewed it as a foundational principle of our family and certainly our business, that because our communities support our stores, it is our obligation to support the community. And that takes a lot of different forms depending on the community we're in. In some cases, I think the largest example of that is healthcare, where, we try to pick things that everyone needs. So, everybody's got to eat. That means that's why everybody wants to be in the grocery business. Everybody also is going to get sick. Everybody's going to have a healthcare issue. And we believe it is critically important that we are supporting the healthcare organizations in and around the communities that we're in, because we believe it's crucial that our customers have that resource available to them. And that is the one thing that everybody can get behind. It doesn't matter, what church or synagogue or mosque or group or whatever school your kids are in. You support one, it's like you don't support the other. It's some of our customers are getting a benefit, other ones aren't. And they're all supporting us. But we look at healthcare as something that is there for everyone in that community. And it's been critical, in my family since we started this business. And it remains critical today. And that, I would say, is maybe the best example of how we support the people that support us. And certainly we support the churches, and we support the BTAs, and we do the softball leagues, and we do all that, the Girl Scout troops. We do all that stuff too. But the big things, the things that I believe are really going to change the lives of our customer base, is healthcare. And that's why that has been drilled into every single person in my family, that is the be all end all charitable goal for this company.
Well, good for you. I know that the governor of Maryland, Governor Hogan, just a few weeks ago was out singing your family's praises with the Klein Family Crisis Center. So it's not just what you speak about. It seems that people throughout Maryland have become aware of the way your family views this and the way you operate.
Yeah. Yes. Mental health and addiction services are a huge underserved portion. Again, it affects literally everyone. And I can't say how many times, just not only from the customer base, but from just an employer base, how many times we have people that work for me that have either themselves or family members that struggle with mental health and addiction. And there aren't services available based on how we treat those things in this country. And it's not right. And my family wants to do something about it. And we have done something about it. And I believe that the Crisis Center is a great resource for any business and the entire community for really an underserved area that is so widespread. It just affects literally everyone.
Well, Marshall, we're out of time. Did I forget to ask you anything you wanted to add about?
It's your show. I think we're
okay.
Good. Whatever you want to talk.
Well, no, it's great. And again, as you approach your 100th year in business, your great grandfather had quite a vision, and your grandfather and your father and uncles and now you and your siblings and your cousins. It's quite a show, and I would advise anybody watching, check them out. If you haven't been to a Klein's ShopRite store, give them a visit. I think you will see in live action that which Marshall has been talking about. Marshall, congratulations! Thanks for joining us, and we will talk again soon.
Thank you, David.
This has been David Nevins for Citybiz List. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll be with you next time.